Hello and welcome to the Blue Tweezers channel. Myself, Alan from the channel. Sorry, I've got a few technical issues here, so I'm not entirely sure you can see me. But if you can, hello and Merry Christmas, etc. Sorry for the delay. Yes, I've had some technical issues here. First thing being is my power cable on my second monitor just died earlier today, so I'm just running off one monitor at the moment, which is the main screen, so things may look a bit strange here. Let me just adjust what you're seeing. Let me know in the comments whether you can see and hear me, because I've got absolutely no confidence in this at the moment. Just see your James, Brun, Viper, hello. I'm going to have to can I pop out the chat here so that I can see the chat going on. Thanks, James. Yeah, sorry, I'm down to one monitor. Christmas gremlins, and yeah, so sorry, I had to reboot my machine because none of my cameras would work, and so it's a bit of a disaster here. But it is Christmas, so well, there you go. Right, so yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you're having a good time wherever you are. I just thought I'd do a quick stream here. You haven't seen a lot of me in the channel for a while. DMJ, thanks. Hi Demi, how you doing? Good to see you. I haven't been able to put out any tweets and messages yet, as I say, because I've been struggling with the system at the moment. But what are we going to talk about? Well, main thing I want to hear is what you guys have been doing through Christmas on gaming, or planning to for the rest of the holiday. That's the main thing I wanted to talk about, and a few things that I've done, that we are doing on the channel, and I've been doing personally on gaming as well in this period. But as you know, there's been not too much output for me, but that's there's been a lot of other things going on, which will come out in the fullness of time, which unfortunately aren't gaming related. Still, anyway, let's see where are we on the chats. So I'm going to have to flick between windows here, because as I say, I'm on my single screen here. Yeah, so James, learning GBACW, well, that's a task. I'm not sure I would have say I've completely learned it myself. And you're playing Death Valley, so yeah, that'll come in a while. Hi Camp, hi Mark. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Newbie in for the first time. Oh, good, excellent. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm afraid this is a little bit chaotic because I've been struggling for the last half an hour with getting everything working. My second screen power supply has died. It's hitting here. Ordered a new one, but it's not going to be here in time for this stream. And also my computer wouldn't behave. Its cameras decided to shut down and everything. So that's why we're a bit late running. Apologies for that, but there we are. Fallen Eagles 2 Waterloo. So it's Fallen Eagles, the Hexasim stuff, is it? It's on the table over Christmas, so you're able to put things out on a table over Christmas. Lucky you, lucky you. Yeah, I haven't really been able to do that myself. Ruff's here. Hello, hello, Ruff. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and everything, and hope it went well for you as well. Yeah, I want to get some messages out if I can. Just looking at. As I say, I'm aware that things are flicking up on the screen as we speak, but I can't really do very much about that. I only have one screen. Hexasim, yes, right. I've got none of Fallen Eagles, none of the Hexasim stuff. I really should get into it, and I don't know why I haven't. It's just not come to mind at the time when I was buying something, I suppose. But they look good. I am quite a Napoleonic fan, although I haven't done much on the channel with Napoleonics, but I do have quite a few things. I've got a big store of Whaddaya games, which have been gathering dust for a very long time. And I recently added in some of the Legion stuff and the OSG. Also a big fan of the OSG Napoleon at Bay type systems as well. So Kevin, hello. Don't tread on me. That's one of it's now one of Ben Madison's games. The Tiny Battle people. Can't remember who the manufacturer is. Same guys who do the Mission, etc. A lot of those sort of pseudo folio games, aren't they? States of Siege kind of thing. Is it States of Siege? Don't tread on me. I think it is. Yes, it's yes. So it's Fallen Eagles 2, I suppose. It's the second one. That's it. White Dog. That's the thing. White Dog. Yeah, couldn't remember their name. One of those. Good old Ben Madison. Yes. So, what have I been doing? Well, not a lot of wargaming, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Got involved in a pantomime where an Alice in Wonderland pantomime I'm doing some rehearsals for, and I'm the Mad Hatter, so it takes up a bit of time for that. Various Christmas things and other things going on. So yeah, haven't been able to get the onto the table with much. And over Christmas, my games room turned into a bedroom for one of my children, so visiting. So everything had to get packed away. Over the Christmas period, although I had my two daughters here, I ended up playing Escape the Dark Sector with both of them. If you don't know that game, it's a British game. Did have it hanging around here, but I can't see it. Oh yeah, it's here. Here it is. It's a co-op game where I got this in UK Games Expo earlier this year. It's quite fun. You represent a crew of a spaceship which you've basically been imprisoned on a space station, and you get out of the prison, but then you've got to find your ship again to get out of there, and you've got to go through a series of cards which are tasks, and we did very well actually. We won at a bit of a canter actually. We polished off the boss, which is the last card in the game, and did very well on that. Then I played Star Trek Frontiers, which is the Star Trek version of Mage Knight, with one of my daughters, and it was the first time she'd played, and I lost, so she won, which was great. It was a very basic game. It was but she came through very well. Did very well on it. Bron, hello. Oh, you're ill. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, if you disappear, your medicine is kicking in. Oh, sounds like some decent medicine here. And in fact, actually, I've got my own medicine here, which I haven't pulled yet because I was too busy messing around with the machine. So, cheers to everybody. Happy Christmas. Good bit of cognac there. Just finishing off that bottle, actually. A Tarot cognac. Had it bits and pieces throughout the year on the live streams with Ruff, and just about finished the bottle now. So this will be the end of it, and I'll have to move on to another bottle for 2023. Okay, so that's what I've been playing over Christmas. Yeah, this is the back of cupboard cognac. It is indeed. That's right. Yes. Yeah, and almost done. There's only a tiny bit left. So actually, I'll just put that in the glass. Show willing. Indeed. DMJ's going in the horse and musket. Oh, right. Have you watched my absolute abomination of a game with Caldano on our recent live streams? I've managed to particularly end the English Civil War in one turn of one battle by getting Charles I killed. Everybody else practically has been killed as well. I'm slightly recovering. I've managed to deflect his centre, his infantry charge in the centre, but I'm in all kinds of trouble in that game. But we will be carrying on with that as well. And oh no, that's horse and musket, not musket and pike. Yeah, I'm talking about the wrong things, aren't I? Yeah, awesome musket. Don't I haven't got into that. Sorry. So let us know what you think of it. They say interesting so far, but if you can give us a bit more as well. But sorry, yes, I was quickly looking at the screen and reading musket and pike instead of horse and musket. Uh, easy to do. Everybody keeps talking about muskets. Stop talking about muskets. And Mark's hitting snowballs. Excellent. Yes, that's real Christmas fare. Yeah, I haven't had a snowball in years. Gosh. Yeah, absolute years. Used to when I was at university, we used to get those together and down them like water. Absolutely, they were great fun. Ridiculously sweet. Probably not healthy for me these days anyway. So, but I haven't had one for years. So, but good luck to you. Hope hope you don't get a bad one. If you put anything organic in there, raw eggs and things like that. I think a lot of people put a lot of junk in snowballs, but yeah, hopefully your ones keep you well. Right, where were we? So yeah, I've been kind of busy, so sorry about that on the channel. It's not been a lot. Recently put out an intro video for Flashpoint Golan by Victory Games. Nice old game, an old favourite of mine. So I've recorded a game playthrough of that, and it's kind of in the can, but I've got to edit it and put it out there. So watch out for that over the next few weeks for those coming out. It wasn't a big game. The scenario was Battle Day on the Golan, which is a one-turn game. So if you imagine, it's a little bit like BCS chip pool. You put each formation gets one go. So if it's one turn, each formation only gets one go. So it's a bit of a hit or miss scenario. Good learning scenario, but I thought I'd introduce it to everybody, see what everybody thought of the game. A long out of print. But I understand that Mark Herman is looking, he's the guy who wrote it, is looking to do something else with the system. And I quite like the system, so it'd be interesting to see what comes out of that, but I don't think it's anything imminent. So, but yeah, anyway. Keep coming with what you've been doing over Christmas and what you plan to do for the rest of the holiday. Fusion of Commands and Colours and Men of Iron series. Okay, so it's fairly light. Mind you, so's Musket and Pike. I wouldn't say that's a particularly heavy field. Right, a lot of scenario-specific rules. I suppose that's... with all these sort of ancient and medievals battle games, it's always the case, because the situations and the armies are usually quite different, or their setup is different, or their situation is different. So there's always things that you have to add in, I suppose. Get a lot of that, particularly with Men of Iron. There's scenario-specific rules, GBOH, that kind of, and Musket and Pike as well. Indeed. Oh, good stuff. Is anybody else playing? Let me know. What else have I got? So, we got a couple of new games come through. So I haven't been really prolific in the purchases. I've kind of scaled down now. Had a big lump of GMT stuff coming earlier in the year, but it's all gone a bit quiet. So 2 games came through in the period since, I think it was October I last did the chat. So the first one was DVG's Spruance Leader, which is one hell of a chunk of game. So this is part of the Leader series. It's Dean Brown game, so it's a sophisticated Leader series entry. So Cold War fleet combat, as it says. There's a lot of game in here. A lot of game. I got the 3 expansions as well. So that was the Allies, the submarine expansion, and the carrier expansion. So, hey, Cole's here. Hello, everybody. Yes, good to see you, Cole. How you getting on? It's all cold up there in Finland, I suppose. But let us know how you've been keeping warm in the gaming front. 6-player PC Wargame of the Waterloo campaign using the WGS. Oh, wow, okay. I haven't done a lot of computer gaming, so I don't think I'd probably recognise that system. The last thing I played like that would be the sort of Matrix games stuff, Linyi. Can't remember what they were called. Yeah, the old Matrix games. So is it Slytherin? No, I think it's Matrix. You know, the kind of a bit like the Total War series. But yeah, got lots of ice there. Okay, can I have some ice from the cognac, if you wouldn't mind? Just pass some over. Yeah. Well, Merry Christmas to you. And thanks, of course, for 2022 for joining in on a couple of streams with me. Well, more than a couple. But so, Bron, I thought, Bron, you were ill. Do you want to be in the colder weather? Okay, be even iller. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that WDS system. I don't know, as I say, I don't really play a lot of computer games anymore. I do a lot of Vassal, I suppose, and a bit of TTS, but and I think everybody wants to live in where other people live. It seems so. Cole wants to be in the Netherlands. Braun wants to be in Finland. So okay, there's lots of holiday options though. I suppose you all have. And actually, over the next few days, I'm going to be popping over to Spain, where my other half currently is, just to do the sort of mid Christmas New Year period with her family and friends over there, and then I'll pop back. So that'll be happening soon as far as going places. But anyway, back to Spirits Leader. So one thing, of course, that's the usual thing with games is that when you buy the game and you buy expansions, the expansions never fit in the original box with the original game. Spirits Leader is no different. I tried absolutely everything to put everything into the one box, and as you can see here, it's not fitting really. But anyway, I took all the cards out. Well, not all the cards, but the cards related to the actual ships that you can have in your task force. So what I did, and I'll just nip out and get that because I forgot to get it. Where are they? Just looking to see where I put my set. Where did I put it? Okay, can't find it for the moment. I'll keep thinking about where it is. I thought it was close at hand, but can't see it for the moment. Is my card set. So I got one of these. One of these Magic the Gathering kind of. It almost looks like a photo album, but you have the card size sleeves in it. So I was putting the cards in there. So I will find that somewhere. I had it very close by, but I seem to have decided to put it somewhere so obscure, so useful, but so obscure that we can't get anyway. So what have we got in the game here? So I've been using a couple of these pillboxes here as counters. So 2 lots of counters go in here. With this one, we have weapons counters. So for the whole set, these are all missiles and torpedoes. So fitting all of that in there, that's just weapon counters for missiles and torpedoes. Then we have the ship counters here, along with some aircraft counters as well. And then various other counters I've put into bags, because I couldn't really fit them into those medicine those pill boxes at all, and now the counters are streaming out everywhere. As I told you, as far as unboxings goes, these are highly unprofessional and bound to tell you very little about the game, and also look really, really amateur. So yeah, so even that with a load of counters going into baggies as well. And then we have other cards that aren't the ship cards. So we have encounter cards and target cards. So encounter cards is cards you meet where which isn't actually the target of your campaign. So things like a submarine patrol here. So it has 2 sides. You roll against the back side when you don't know what there is. Once you find out if there is something, you flip it over to see what it is. This would be either 3 or 2 submarines, and you should have to destroy at least 2 subs to get some special operations points. But the target cards are the core of the game, so you got to defeat an enemy wolf pack, that kind of thing. There's a few more target cards here as well. And then we have event cards. So the good old event cards, take one when you start an encounter and take one at the end. So beginning and end, these are the things that happen to you, just random events. We have sub-sensor and sensor performance cards. So these are cards that you, for each encounter, you pick one of these, and it's how difficult to get hold, how subs are going to be detectable. Then we have sub cards. So when you actually have things to combat, you get individual ships or subs. That's a sub there. This is a Typhoon class. Well, there you go, Typhoon class. Well, and that's a special mission only. That's actually, I think it's meant to be the Red October, or the Red November, as they call it in this game, for copyright purposes. And then here, these are ship cards. So that's an Udaloy cruiser. So you're up against the Soviets, of course. I didn't really mention it. It's a Cold War, but it's North Atlantic or Pacific stuff going on. We have a D10, but this is a D10 with a 10, which is pretty rare these days, because, and that really helps, because I always get confused if I'm flicking between games and they've got D10s. I can never remember which one is a 0 and which one is a 10, and I usually get it wrong until I look it up and go, oh, damn. This is the main board, which is just a place to put cards, to be honest, in most of it. But then you have this task force display here, so that's where your ships go, and this is where the enemy comes in from, on this kind of scope here. And it's got a couple of charts there, and the sequence of play here, and card decks there as well. So that's the main board. Basic campaign sequence of play. Doesn't look very basic to me. We have ship and sub actions on the back, what you can do, and these are the campaigns here. So this is the campaign I was practicing with. This is a campaign sheet. So if you know the Leader series, you've got this sort of what is it normally? It's the Intel and something else. It's down here. These are replaced with task force and activity. So these are the number of task forces you're going to be picking against, and the activity number for whether they're active or not. Two different campaigns gives you special operations points to buy things, and then the campaign is up here. What you basically do is these little numbers here are target cards. So you pick the target card, look at it, and it tells you where that target actually is. You start at the bottom and you have to travel through. These red boxes here are for the task forces here, tell you how many of these are actually populated, how many counters you're going to populate these with, and these are extra encounters which you will get. So yeah, that's a typical one here. There's loads of campaigns here, I think 8 to 10. Then you've got the rule books. We've got, let's see, we've got 2 here. This is the standard rule book. There's also a 1.2 which you can get off Facebook on the DVG Spruance Leader group, which I suggest joining if you've got the game or you're thinking of getting the game. So this has been updated already, but the usual DVG thing. Not the most friendly of rule books. DVG does. It's not particularly to do with this game, but I just find them a little bit difficult to find things in, and have sort of bits, small holes in usually. How are we doing in the chat here? So it's been a big chat about we calmed down about Finland and Netherlands, I think, just about. Michael, hello. Hi, sorry, missed you there. You just arrived. And yeah, hope you had a good Christmas. Let me know what you've been playing or planning to play this series. How does Spruance Leader play, Mark? Well, as that's the setup is what I told you here. Then you have an encounter. On that board I showed you, you have your task force of ships and your individual ship cards, which I can't find at the moment because my really, really neat photo album kind of card storage system has just vanished and I can't see it anywhere. It's really annoying. So you play it. It's, if you know the leader series, you've got this kind of there's the fast. You've got your fast units. You've got your slow units, and then you've got the enemy units in the middle. You do fast, enemy, and then slow for your actions. Similar to here, but it's not about the actual ships themselves. It's their position. So on that board, if I show you again here. Nope. And again, it's going to be not easy to see. These are your ship positions here, and these two here are known as your screening force. So the ships you put here, it's up to you what you put there. They're your fast ships. These are your slow ships, and these are your ships that aren't doing anything and don't get involved. So yeah, those will be your fast. So they act first in the turn, then the enemy does, and then your others. So, and your enemy will be here on this grid in any of these particular grid positions, and they get they're close or far away here, and this represents kind of a flank position as well, particularly useful for submarines, of course. So yes, it's all. The first thing you have to do, of course, is detection. So you have to detect your enemy before you can fire at it. They have to detect you. You have to detect them. So there's a lot of the start at trying to actually detect. And you get a detection level between 0 and 3. You can fire at any of those, but at the end of each turn, you only got the 5 battle turns, just like the normal leader series. At the end of each turn, the detection rating drops. You get bonuses for the higher the detection rating is. Then, of course, you can fire. So each of your ships only really gets one action a turn. So they could try and detect, or they could fire. Some of them have helicopters, very useful against submarines. Not so much against surface ships, but particularly against submarines. Yeah, that's really the game. As you go through these encounters, you need to get to the target and defeat the target to get your VPs. And the campaigns have variable lengths. So we've got some other things here. So some of these I've got quite a lot because they're all the expansions. So this is a Pacific Carrier War 1988 campaign. Sino-Russian War here, 1982. That's again a carrier one. These are all carrier ones. Indonesian Soviet influence. Let's move on. We've got some. This is a special bonus Falklands War one, which is just the UK ships. They be careful with that. So it's very, very light on exactly explaining exactly what you do. It's quite a cut down version of the full thing. So a lot of the normal things you do, you don't do in that scenario. For the things like encounters and things like that, they work in a very simple way. North Atlantic sea lanes here. So that's Atlantic ships. These are the basic ones. Looking to see if we can. Have I got any of the sub ones? No, this is the Pacific ships. Yeah. Yeah, that's that. Beyond that, yeah, there's a submarine expansion rule book which is very thin. There's only a few pages. How big is that? It's only about 15 pages. Yeah. 17. So yeah. So the 3 rule books there. The Allies expansion doesn't give you a rule book; it just gives you more ships. I'm really annoyed that I can't show you the ship cards. Let me have a quick think again. Where the hell it had gone? As I put the rest of this away. Cards back. Oops. Rule books. Cards back. So there's a lot of count. I think it was, I don't know, 12 counter sheets with everything together. So there's a hell of a lot to go through. Don't need to clip them though. That's one thing. You don't really need to clip them. They're very, very nicely cut. So that saves you a lot of time and saves your fingers as well, and saves your cutter as well. Oops. So yeah, I think it was 12. It's a ridiculous amount. I mean, as you can see, the number of counters there, and even with two trays there, that's what we ended up with. Where the hell is that? Can't remember where I put it now. It's old age, I'm afraid. Even in gaming, you can't actually keep up with what the hell's going on. So yeah, how are we getting on here? So Battle of Gross Beer and OSG, yes, Full Lost Battles. I've got that. I got that recently. I got that at PunchCon actually, and I played. What have I played so far? I played Cat's Back, which I don't think I finished it, to be honest. It seemed all right. It's an alright. I haven't got any cards though, of course, for the system. And James, you got a few of them. Last Success and Quadrilateral. Yeah, I had the option of buying either Quadrilateral or Full Lost Battles. I think they were the same price. It was a toss up, and I kind of went, all right, I'll do the Lost Battles. Basically, because it wasn't a Napoleon thing. It was, the other commanders. Napoleon doesn't really feature, so I thought it was just a bit more interesting. Yeah, Operational Studies Group. Yes, so that's a guy called Mark Herman. No, not Mark Herman. What's his name? God, you'll tell me in the chat. Kevin Zucker. So he's been going for forever on Wargames and stuff, and OSG is his baby. A lot of Napoleonic stuff. So I've got a lot of his stuff. The Napoleonic base system is his. Some of the larger Napoleonic Bay, which was Clash of Arms, did. They look very much like La Bataille's, but they're operational. So it's big on operational. And this Library of Napoleon stuff are all tactical battles based on the old Leipzig system. He had big old game. Clash of Arms did. Wasn't really a fan of it. Although if you've been with the channel for a long time, I ended up playing Shevardino with off the Russian campaign. I can't remember what the name of the actual module was. But it's a Battle of Shevardino I played with Jordan McMullen and yeah, Michael. There's no real need for the cards. Exactly. Yeah, I played with the cards and with Shevardino with Jordan. I found it was all right, I suppose. I was thinking that was a small battle, but it's actually a sort of precursor to Borodino and gets actually almost as mucky as Borodino itself. So actually it was quite a big game. But we played that for a little while. I had to stop that, I think, when we couldn't continue with the live streams, unfortunately, because of change of circumstances with Jordan. But that was quite fun. So having had that, I suddenly thought, okay, maybe I should get one of them. So I picked up the Full Lost Battles one. Get more second chance games. That's what I did. So at BunchCon they had a little shop, makeshift shop there in the hall there. So that's where I got it. I got that, and I got Operation Theseus as well, the VUCA simulations, which I was playing with Cole a little while as well before it really started to drag. Not drag as a game, but drag as a video streaming thing, because we only got into one turn. I think we had four 2-hour sessions, so it really went on and on. Okay, so that's one thing that came in. The other thing that came in, which I think came into just practically everybody else, so I'm not going to say too much about it because there's so much about it, is Skies Above Britain, Gina Willis and Jerry White system, like the Skies and Storm Above the Reich series, similar. Actually, having looked through and seen some of the videos, there's lots of videos out there. Go and see them. Don't worry about me telling you about it, because to be honest, it came just before Christmas, and I really haven't had a chance to do anything but just punch some counters and do some stickers, and that's all. There's a lot in there. It looks really cool. It does look really different to the Skies and Storm Above the Reich. Very different system. Similar feel, but there's so much more to it. There's all the dogfighting aspects and stuff, which is very detailed in this system, which is pretty abstract in the other ones. I think the bomber interception of the bombers is a lot more basic in this one, where it's a lot more detailed in the other. So there's quite a big thing. So if you I'm not sure about the table space on it. As I say, I really haven't been able to do very much in it. But certainly it has that shall I say, Jerry Whiteness about it, like these Above the Right series, like Atlantic Chase. So it's got a lot of tutorials, very helpful rule book, very index look-upable rule book, very well indexed. One set of rules per page kind of thing with examples. So yeah, it's I will get to it in the new year, absolutely. Looking forward to it, but lots of things going on at the moment, as I said before. It's still in shrink. That's actually not in shrink wrap, so it looks like in shrink wrap, but particularly with GMT games, and I do manage to do this with a couple of other games manufacturers, though mainly GMT. I managed to do it a bit with DVG as well, which is actually, you would have seen on Spruance, it looked like it was in shrink wrap with the shiny stuff, but it's not. What I do is I cut out the bottom of the shrink wrap here, and I keep the top shrink wrap actually on, so it protects the main cover. Doesn't always work, sometimes it just falls apart, but on occasion, and particularly with the GMTs, it seems to be able to stomach that. Compass is quite good for it as well. Compass Games is quite good for it. Well, MMP not so much. So I think the boxes sort of flex a bit more, and it slowly just peels off. But yeah, so that's not in shrink wrap. I have actually got into it and done the punching and clipping and stickering. So yeah, yeah, have a look. Get into it if you can. I think it's good. Maybe if you got a bit of time, at least to do some of the tutorials during the holiday period, might be good. So as I say, I don't really want to go too much in the skies of Britain because the internet is awash. You get a YouTube, people like Tony's Board Live, done stuff about it. I think Ralph, you've done unboxing as well. So I'll leave it at that because hey, we're in the middle of the holiday here. You got loads of other things to do than me witter on too much. What am I expecting? Two things I'm expecting to come fairly shortly. One is the Battles of the Shenandoah expansion for Death Valley. So GBACW, a few more scenarios, a few more counters. Got that coming. So that was part of the GMT sale. So I haven't got my GMT sale stuff yet. I did actually. I was meant to P500 that, and I thought I had until they charged for that time. And it didn't show up, so I looked back and actually I'd forgotten to P500 it. I thought I had done it, but I hadn't. So, but in the sale, I got it anyway. So, that, and the other thing is Next War supplement number 2. So I got supplement number 1, but not 2. Yeah, Next War. So I've only got Vietnam. I haven't got the others, except for Taiwan. I'm not critically interested in getting the others, to be honest. I know that they're putting out Next War Poland, a new edition of that, but I didn't go for it. Thought Supplement 2 was something to get. And to be honest, in the GMT sale, I had, 8 slots? I know we weren't quite at the level of Rough had, with 21 slots to buy 50% off stuff. The thing was, there wasn't anything I really burning to buy, so that's why I ended up with these 2 expansions. And Carl, you didn't realise you need to find the base. Yes, you have to have the base game. Indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you can't get away because, I think the expansion is quite small, but the main game, Death Valley, is a huge thing. Just off to my left there. And you may have seen me and Ruff done Rutherford's Farm from Death Valley a while back, where Ruff spanked me quite well. Even though he was complaining most of the time, as he does. Very small battles indeed. So that's right. With a lot of the other GBAW things, you have sort of quite big scenarios. I know Into the Woods is quite good for small scenarios as well. But they're small scenarios of the same battle. What Death Valley seems to do is you have a lot of battles which are fairly small, and you have versions of each. You got different aspects of the same battle in several scenarios. So I think Rutherford's Farm was actually 2nd Winchester. I think it was 2nd Winchester as the main battle, but we were playing Rutherford's Farm, which was just a little part of it. So it just takes it down a level. Not only do you have smaller battles, but then you have smaller scenarios of small battles as well. which I think is quite good. You did get it. Well, otherwise the expansion's pretty useless, but well done there. So yeah, that was the problem with the GMT sale. It wasn't. I could have gone for something like Pacific War, but I wasn't that keen on getting it. I have played it in its original VG version a long time ago, and it was okay. But I, needs a lot of space, and I thought, no. What was the other one I was thinking of getting? Pack War, and a couple of other the older games which I could go for, but I decided not to, and nothing else really stood out. So I ended up with just 2 expansions, and that was it. So I'm waiting for those to arrive, hopefully they're reasonably soon. But it's not like I don't have a lot to get on with anyway. So I'm not hanging by the doorbell at all. Okay, so what have I actually been playing as far as war games goes? Well, not a lot here. So we've got my standard Gallipoli 1915 here, which I just want to check how that looks on the camera. So bear with me. Yeah, let me just shift myself over here. It's probably a good thing. So sorry about that intrusion there. Yeah, Gallipoli 1915 campaign. I'm playing with 3 Australians, and I'm playing the Anzacs. Yeah, no pressure. So this is how it's been going. We're in the second morning of the second day. So we've dug in overnight. It's just morning and just about to activate and get on with things. Still quite quiet. Very nice. I'm quite happy with the amount of territory I've taken. I'm a bit worried about being able to take a lot more territory. Looking to do some attacks today because the Ottomans get quite a lot of reinforcements in the next evening. So it's 2-hour turns. So you've got quite a few turns before that happens. And yeah, down at Cape Helles, God knows what's going on. The British are just, not much going on here at all. They're kind of broken-ish out, but they're still pinned on the beaches somewhat. Here we've got Turks here still. We've got Turks still hanging around. So yeah, it's not good stuff. They're stuck on the beach with a lot of their troops. So it's pretty rubbish going on the British side. So I think we're going to lose, but I don't think it's going to be me who's going to be the problem there. But yeah, so we've got the 1st Australian Division, and we've got the New Zealand and Australian division as well. The New Zealanders are up top. Pretty much everybody in pits is the 1st Australian Division. Okay, but we're cracking on with that. It's slow going. I mean, I must admit, I'm not pumping out a turn a day or anything on activation a day. Chip pool again for all formations. Formations of brigades. Yep. So that's what we're going there with my Gallipoli 1915 campaign using the new rule set. Much better. What I've also been doing solo is a campaign of Last Blitzkrieg BCS, and we're into the second day here. Towards the end of the second day, let me just zoom out here. So this is the north end here. Is it 5th Panzer Army? I think it is. So we've kind of blown a hole here, and we've got Kampfer Group Piper heading up here towards Malmedy. Although 2nd and 99th Infantry Division are pretty healthy, and they've got this strong shoulder here on the Elsenborn Ridge. So, but we do have Bullingen, and we're getting beyond there with these 2 divisions here, 12th Wolf Grenadier and Kampfer Group Piper. 1st SS has been really slow, didn't move on the first turn at all, got single half activation on the second turn, so they're just dribbling onto the board. 12th SS here is kind of waiting for things to develop. Along here where I've got 277th Folk Grenadier. Let's zoom in so we can see it a bit easier. Trying to push their way through, and they're doing really badly. They're trying to. It's 99th Infantry, better quality troops. They're dug in. They're in terrain. It's a bit of a slog, but we've hardly scratched them, to be honest, and taken some decent amount of damage at 277. So I think probably next turn 277 will have to get out of the way, and 12th SS will have to try and bash their way through, or come around if we can get Volksgrenadier to carry on a bit here and leave the gap. Down here, we've surrounded the 106th Infantry. It's a kind of standard move here on the Schnee-Eifel. Got through here. Nowhere near St. Vith yet from this direction. However, south, we managed to get a bridge over the Our River, captured it, and we managed to get 116th Panzer across, which has yet to move this turn. So it's got a coordination marker, but it's got some penalties on it. But that was its first turn movement, which was pretty good. And 150th Panzer Brigade is following up as well as a reserve. And yeah, so that's quite a nice breakthrough here. Trying to get to Wilssalm, maybe across to Parker's Crossroads, and maybe down to Hufalitzer. That's 116 Panzer, which is probably the pick of the bunch. 560th Falk Grenadier here has surrounded the 112th Regiment, the 28th Division here, but it's hampered with no bridges, so it's just slowly following up. It's not a big formation, so not much to know there. We've got into Clairvaux with 2nd Panzer. It's got this far, so it's still got a little way to go to get to good old Bastogne, which is here. And yeah, we're looking down. Hopefully you can see most of this. Let me just check how. Yeah, I'm up in the top corner, so you should be able to see all this. And it's given a 1/10th Regiment hell of a pasting, along with 26th Falk Grenadier here, strung along the road, probably the most advanced here. And now we've got Panzer, which don't do anything on the first turn. They've come through, and yeah, haven't been great, but they're following up. The Fallschirmjägers, 5th Jäger Division has blasted through here, and from there it's just not good news for the Germans. So there's the 109th Brigade, which is holding quite well here. Combat Command A of 9th Armoured here, holding quite, actually cutting them off from the bridge here with a counter attack here. 4th Infantry as well, doing well. So it's kind of Germans aren't making a lot of progress here. Haven't got, most of the bridges aren't open still, so it's not going well. But next turn, I think we'll get the airborne arriving at Bastogne and Parker's Crossroads area, Manhay area, so there'll be something to meet the armoured spearheads there. But it's quite fun to play solo, to be honest. Just playing the traditional one side picks and formation, the other side picks and formation. I'm not doing any of the fancy pick chits and stuff like that. 2 reasons. One is I think the backwards and forwards is fine for this particular game, particularly solo. And secondly, I can't quite work out to do it properly on the Vassal module. So there you go. So yeah, that's what we've got playing at the moment. And of course, there's the Battle of Edge Hill with Cole. Let me get the chat going as well. Jester's here. Hello. Yes, somebody said it name 3 times. It wasn't me. I didn't say it at all. But yeah, just hope you had a good Christmas. Let me know what you've been playing. You probably put it on videos and I haven't seen it, but let us know what you've been doing or what you're planning to do. But Merry Christmas anyway. It's a very good Vassal mod. Yeah, it's been out for quite a while. You've got things like the modifiers for activations linked to the turns. You've got things like command ranges. You've got things like you can get a list of not done HQs. So which German HQs haven't gone yet, you can get a list, so you don't have to fish around on the board where the hell they all are. Same with the Allies. You've got separate HQ tracks. I'm kind of using both. But the HQs also have their fatigue ratings. You can vary on the counter. So yeah, it's very, very nice. You can get rid of objective markers and things like that. Reinforcements are all set up for you. Very nice, and it's got all the charts for you, and some of the flow charts and things like that. Prepared defense, safe path, retreat, what happens with retreats, etc. It's all together, and you've got the terrain as well. So it's kind of self-contained, other than the sort of rule book, special rules, and kind of things you've got to get hold of. There's also, what was it? There's a tiger button, so it just shows you where the tigers are. So when you activate, you have to roll to see if your tigers start to break down, and it's something you can often forget. And there's a little button to help you with. as well. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, so we go for the back for the chat. Oops, no, wrong window. And again, sorry for the windows flicking up and down because I've only got one screen. So if they didn't pick it up at the beginning, I lost the use of my power supply for my monitor, so that's dead at the moment. So I've only got my laptop screen to go from here. Carl, is Aracourt best one to start with, Blue? Yeah, sure. It is. It's smaller than the others. It's it's kind of in the middle with things. So last Blitzkrieg can be quite a slog. So you just punch kind of thing. With things like Blazing Chariots and Baptism of Fire, the North African ones, they're very dynamic. You can go hundreds of hexes in a turn kind of thing. It's very swirly. So Aracourt is kind of in the middle. I quite like Panzer's Last Stand because that's got some quite small scenarios on it. It's also got the Soviet, so it's a bit different as well. So if you don't go for Aracourt, I probably suggest Panzer's Last Stand, even though it's got a few expanded rules about activations and stuff. I think it's got some nice small scenarios about it, and it's also sort of both sides are going to punch each other if you like. You've got a decent amount of capability for both sides to do damage to each other. Stigler's here. Hey, hello, happy Christmas. And old lady plays. Hello, OP. How are you doing? I haven't seen too much from your channel. I'm subscribed, but I haven't seen too much going on. But let us know what you've been playing. And Stigler's dropping his H's. Lovely. You dropping your H's, are you? So happy holidays. And what's this about? 980's called. I want their monitor back. It's almost that old. It's actually one of my daughters, which I bought for her for her first computer when she was going to college. She's got onto big things beyond that. She left it behind, and I use it. But the monitor's fine. It's just the bloody power supply. That's anything. The light's gone off on it. It's just not lighting up. It's not powering up. So, but the monitor will be fine. The monitor will be fine. Right then. Any old iron. Stickler's turning into a Cockney. yeah, watch out. He starts sounding like Ruff with an Essex accent. He's trying to sound British. Well, bits of British. Yeah, we don't all drop our H's dentionnaire. H's are very. What's the old saying? The proper way of speaking English. There's a practice sentence. In Herefordshire, Hertfordshire, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen. So there you go. We keep our H's. Most of us. It's just the Londoners and Essex that do that. The Cockneys and the Mockneys. So yeah, you don't have to drop your H's to sound British. Still, it ain't working. No, you got to drop your G's as well. So yeah, that's turned into a language stream. Fair enough. I think I'm better at it than you might realise. Chum. Kiddo. Are you waiting? You practicing to star in I don't know, one of these Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels gangster movies? Yeah. Dick Van Dyke. I hope not. Step in time. That's one of the worst Cockney accents in attempted Cockney accents in history. And OLP's getting into French now. So, okay, Wargaming's out of the limelight, and now we're into various languages. Good heavens. Anyway, I'm just about done with what I wanted to say. And I said I really wanted to do this just because it's Christmas and New Year's and stuff, and I hadn't done a chat stream for a while. and yeah, no idea it was going to turn into a language discussion. But there we go. That's why. So yeah, I'm afraid it's not quite at the speed rate that has been done for a lot of the year here. So yeah, anything you want to? Yeah, let's get back to Wargame. Anything else you want to tell me about what you plan to play for the rest of the weekend? Anything major you got planned to do in 2023? I should be going to the new PunchCon, and if you're in the UK or Europe and you've got a lot of money, you should sign up. I think there's about 80 places left. Last time I heard from James Buckley, who's the organizer, the guy from Phalanx. So sign up for that. Yeah, that's the major thing I'm going to be doing. I might be going to another con, but first half of this year is going to be busy, so I'm not sure there'll be huge things flowing through, but we'll try and get something going with Rough again, because I know everybody enjoys us taking a piss and also knocking lumps out of each other, and you never know. Jester might invite me back on the War Room if he's lost his senses. I wouldn't if I was him, but yeah. And yeah, I should. All these 10 game things, I've got to get my hat on for that, because I haven't even thought about it yet. But I've got a few ideas. Where's Punch going to be held? It's in Coventry, in the middle of England. So not very far from East Midlands Airport if you're flying in, or Birmingham Airport. One of those two are the closest. And if that doesn't work, you could probably stretch to Luton. After that, it's a bit of a journey, but it's right slap bang in the middle of England. So pretty much for British people, everybody can get there equally easily. So it's about, from me, it's about an hour and a half journey, maybe an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. Mostly motorway for me, and yeah, it should be good stuff. So hotel there. Look on look up the PunchCon website. Tell you where it is. You get tickets. You can get accommodation there. Once you buy the ticket, they'll send you information about accommodation. And I've got my ticket, but I've ordered my ticket, but I haven't heard anything about the accommodation yet. So, still waiting for that. Bit of a journey. Go to Canada. Oh, well, okay. Show you. Yeah, don't worry. I used to live in there. I used to live in Toronto. So, yeah, it's a long way to anywhere. You get out of the city and suddenly you're in a big forest. The biggest forest you've ever seen. Yeah, know about Canada, absolutely. Yeah, we're a bit spoilt by distances, but the thing is, once you're in a small country, then you get a bit lax about it anyway. So you think, oh, that's a long way, even though in the big scheme of things, when you talk about other countries, it's really not far at all. So yes, yeah, indeed, the French, of course, yes, some Quebecois here, lovely to add that in. There's a con in Oregon. Well, I'm definitely not going there. That's miles away. By Swords and Bayonets. Yes. So that's Stickler. That's your GBACW entry, isn't it? Yeah, looking forward to that. That should be good fun. Okay. Old Lady Plays now showing off in French, German, and Russian to English for 23 years. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah. Well, actually, very good. Very good. Really impressed. Good. Right. Yes, as I said, that's pretty much all for me. So I thought I'd update you on everything that's going in the channel. And apologies, it's not a huge amount, but do watch. One thing I will be trying to do is I'll be kind of on my lonesome over the New Year bit of this period. So I will be trying to do some streaming then of playing some games, probably solos. Might be doing something like Spirits Leader, maybe a few others. Land of Wrathbridge comes to mind. Lux Eterna, which is a solo game, Euro game, space game. Maybe some others. Haven't really decided yet. So, did I get Knocked Paris? No, I haven't. I'm still waiting for my first ever free game from a manufacturer who said they were going to send me the game for free. They still haven't sent me it. So I'm never going to play a VUCA Simulations game ever again. well, maybe for about a month or so. So yeah, we're trying to. Me and Ruff are trying to get Knack Paris actually going on the stream, but I'm waiting for the game to arrive, and it hasn't arrived. So maybe I'll just have to look at the rule book and then play with Ruff when in the vassal module. The vassal module is out, so we can do that, and I'll just have to do it from a rule book instead. So yeah, chase up with Patrick because I don't know where my copy's gone. But Ruff's the past master of getting free games. I'm terrible at it. So now Paris is pretty chewy, yeah, indeed. And the reason why he was going to send me one was I was going to do a kind of comparison between the 1914 GMT system and Knack Paris, Offensive Age Trance, which I have been playing, but it's kind of gone on a bit of a hiatus. Nothing much has happened for a while, so I'm doing that over Vassal with another guy, but it's all gone a bit quiet. I don't quite know why. So, and I really like the 1940 system, so I wanted to do a comparison between the two, but I haven't got the other game. There you go. Yes. Good. Right. So watch out around the New Year's time. Might be some announcements. Might just do it spontaneously and just completely wrong foot everybody. And if you're available, you're available. If not, but I'll try and get my life together and sort something out and advertise it so that you guys know. I've almost my D10 has disappeared. I need to put it back into Spruance Leader before I lose it. But that's pretty much it. That's been over an hour, and you know it's a holiday. You got better things to do than just listen to me witcher on. So I hope you have a great New Year. If I don't see you then or before, which is not very likely, I'll see you before. So have a good one. Yeah, thanks, Brun. Yeah, should be all right. Just a little quick trip, just to see a few people that you're supposed to see at these times of the year. And but yes, thank you for dropping by. No, it's good to see you, and I'll have a look at your channel again because I said nothing's been coming up recently. I don't think was tweaked with me, so I'll have a quick look again. So Jester. Yeah, good to see you. Happy New Year to everybody, and thanks for listening for me witching on for about just over an hour. It's quite incredible. Don't have anything better to do. Clearly not. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody. Bye for now.